Hi, this is Dr. Kelly Donahoe with at Dr. Kelly Donahoe and also Magnolia Psych. So today I'm going to talk in depth about step one specifically of 3 ways to cope during this time. Um, so if you haven't seen it yet, I made a video, 3 ways to cope during this crisis, or 3 ways to cope. And you could watch that first if you'd like, or you can just go ahead with this one. That one gives sort of an overview of the 3 ways that you can cope during this stressful time. And then this is step one in more depth, which is to be aware of where you are on the alone time continuum. There's also a video that you can watch called Increasing Your Support Scaffolding, which is step two of the process. So when we focus on the alone time continuum, I do have a post that has just the image of what the alone time continuum looks like. And also, this is it. And we're going to talk about it briefly so that I can hopefully share with you some understanding of what it might be going on for you internally right now. So why is this important? This is important because when we spend a lot of time alone and many of our normal coping skills are changed or altered, or we can't access them, we can't go to the gym, we can't be with friends, whatever is happening, a lot of times there can be a rise in symptoms. And that's for people who are experiencing mental health disorders and those that aren't. Just people in general can experience a rise in symptoms when things shift as they are currently for all of us. So I want to talk about what this alone time continuum is. I've been working on this idea. So if you think for yourself we all kind of have a way that we are a balance between alone time and togetherness. And, sometimes we call that extroversion, introversion, whatever. Let's just not even think about that. You know that for yourself, there's a balance that feels right of amount of time that you spend with other people, whether it's at work or socially, whatever, and alone time, right? We all need a certain balance of that. So for some of us, being sequestered in our homes might be different than others who really can't tolerate it. There's other things to consider as well, which is that you're probably not alone, right? So some people are fully alone in their homes, and that's one thing, and other people are with families, so they're alone but not able to get that downtime. So let's think about that. So on one end of the continuum, we have what I would call comfort alone time, right? Or hygge. If you can watch, I made a video about hygge as well, which is the idea of being cozy and safe in your home with people you love or by yourself. But that feeling of socks and cozy, right? Reading a book, enjoying grouping and filling up on yourself, that regenerative time. So that's on one end of the continuum. And I'll show you here so that you can see. So over here we have, right, comfort downtime, hygge, right? And again, there is a video called Happy Hygge if you'd like to watch that or learn more about what that means. So that's way over here, right? And that's like amazing cuddly time. Yeah. And then whoop, way over here on the other end of the continuum, we've got loneliness, isolation, right? These are not warm feelings. I made them these colors for a reason. These are feelings where we can feel really left out. They can lead to unhealthiness, not regenerative, but sucking emotions, right? Or feelings or experiences. And so this is a continuum of alone time. There are a couple of other things at play here, right? Is it your choice that you're alone? When we feel like we have power, generally speaking, when we're feeling empowered, we feel better about a situation. When we feel like something is our idea or we've chosen to do something. So I'd like you to think to yourself, do you feel like you have a choice over what's happening right now? For me, for myself, I do. I feel like I have chosen at this moment so far social distancing and keeping my family in this home as a way of protecting other people, right? I mean, people who might be vulnerable or elderly or, what have you, and also ourselves, but also it feels like something that's for the greater good. So as far as that choice component goes, I'm feeling in power and control. So thinking for yourself about whether you feel like you have power and control over this current situation will impact your feelings about it clearly, right? The other factor that's at play on where you might be on the continuum or how this is all sort of interacting is time. So for now, I feel like I have power and control over the situation. It's been 3 to 5 days, depending on whether or not you consider the weekend before it was official part of it, right? So, okay, everything's fine right now, but how long will this go on? And where is my limit of feeling like, whoa, I'm being forced to do this, or it's been too long, right? So choice and time are playing into where we fall on that continuum from comfort to isolation, right? So I'm just going to show it to you one more time. And again, please remember that I did post this as well, so you can take a look at it for as long as you like. You can print it out, put it on the wall, but just to remind yourself, why is this important? Why is this the first step in having healthy coping during this time of confusion and change, right? And uncertainty. It's important because when we're aware of what's happening to us and where we are, we can make better choices. We can see where we are and it adds light, right? Often when we don't have insight into what's happening with us, it can lead to confusion and negative emotions. And that's where that rise of symptoms can happen, right? So being thoughtful about what's happening and how you feel about it can help you to gain some of that control, even if that means just on your perspective. We know the outcomes are better for people. And I'm wishing those positive outcomes for you. So what I'd like you to do is take a look at the continuum, sit with it, think about it, and then document how you feel. It helps to write down and to create some kind of narrative about the experience that you're having. Even when we are not in control, when we can create the story the way that we'd like with our own voice, we have better outcomes. And so I'd ask you to think about where you are and then to do some writing about what this experience is like for you and how you could maybe move on that continuum a little, right? When we think about time, for instance, okay, let's say 2 weeks seems like a lot, but then there's a little tool that therapists use all the time. It's one of my little psychological secrets. To gain perspective quickly, you can pick whatever your favorite number is. Let's say your favorite number is 3. Okay, mine's not, it's 12, but let's say it's 3. Okay, in 3 minutes, 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months, 3 years, 3 decades, right? 3 centuries. Eventually you get to a place where you realize you can get some perspective on the situation and you can see, okay, it really isn't the biggest thing that I'm thinking it is in this moment, right? There are some things that we can't change, right? Life and death. We can't perspective ourselves out of that, generally speaking. But for many, many things, including being in your house or wherever you may be, we can generally get perspective on time even. And as far as choice, how can we sort of own that in our own way? Well, you have a decision to make here, right? You can sort of change the narrative or reframe it, as we call it in therapy. For me, I'm thinking I'm protecting myself and others. It feels noble and important. And that is a way for me to feel I have power and control. So thinking about how you see things in that narrative will help you shift on the alone time continuum. So again, this is step 1 in the 3-step process of coping during this tumultuous time. And you can also use all of these skills in your life all the time when we're all back out and about and, living the new normal. So again, step 1 is to know where you stand on the alone time continuum. So good luck in your self-exploration. Remember that if we find some ways to be productive during this time, even if it's our own self-growth, that we will come out on the other side feeling much more intact and better and whole and ready to re-engage in our lives than if we don't. So good luck, stay safe, and I look forward to speaking with you soon.